is 2025 still a good time to move to the United States? Before we get into it, I know a lot of you have been wondering and even asking me where I've been because I've not been posting. So life happens in 2025. So many things happened at the same time. As many of you know, I've been in school. So beginning of this year, I was at the end of my school year and I have a board exam to write as well. But the good news is I completed my final courses in February and I took a review class and I passed my board exam in April. So guys, that has been a huge accomplishment for me, because if you have followed me from the UK to the United States, you know that studying was one of my biggest goals. And this year, I started this year with I just want to get it done and get the board exam over and done with. So I focused on that beginning of the year, and then family and so many other things came up and I had to face it before this one. But all this while that I've been off YouTube or off camera, a lot of people have been booking my calls and discussing their journey, letting me know how they are doing, and that is what inspired me to actually come back and answer so many of the questions that you people keep asking, and I hope you get something from it. So guys, I would say that it's still a perfect time to move to the United States. If you are still in the journey, you got a job already, you signed a contract, but the immigration is keeping you, just keep busy with your life. If you are working primarily, just focus on your work and try as much as possible to get as many experiences as you can. Exactly what I mean here is if you work in the unit or in a ward or whatever specialty that you are in, try to understand the reason why you're carrying out certain procedures or whatever, use it. And then if you want to study, for instance, a lot of people is one of the biggest things for them, they don't know whether to further their education because they don't know if immigration is going to open tomorrow or next. What I can say about that is that if you want to take a master's degree that is 1 year or something, and depending on the stage that you are in the process, go ahead and do that, because you can still use that certificate when you move to the United States. I used mine, so I feel like a lot of people will be able to use their master's degree from abroad. So whatever you're doing, do not get discouraged at all. If this is your goal, if this is something you want to accomplish, I still feel like the United States is still one of the best places for nurses. It will give you a lot of opportunities, and it was one of my biggest goals, and I don't even think about any regrets at all. I'm really excited that I eventually came here, and I'm ticking off my goals one at a time, hoping that with God's grace I'll continue to tick those goals as I move. Okay, just trust the process, continue to work on it, continue to keep an eye on new opportunities, the immigration changes, and keep going. I really encourage you to keep going. A lot of people are still coming here. I still see people that told me, oh, I'm starting next month. And even in the midst of all this, you think people are not moving, people are still moving to the United States, and that is really very encouraging. So do I regret moving after 3 years? I feel like I need to make a dedicated video about this, but it's to just throw it in here. So this year, I'm now 3 years plus here in America, and I stayed roughly almost the same time in the United Kingdom. And I must say, I do not regret it at all. I remember when I moved in 2022 that people in the UK, they were interviewing me and asking me these questions. I remember telling one of the creators then that I actually one of the biggest things for her was safety, is the US safe, and I'm like, I feel safe. I feel like this, you feel it like it's not safe more from the news that I see online than it actually is. And where we have lived, I feel like it's really safe if you really know what to do. If you feel like there's something wrong, I mean that it's been perfect for me. And she was like, oh, you're lying. And I really didn't like that, because I was like, okay, why would I say that is not, so guys, it's been 3 years. If there are challenges, of course, in the beginning I was like, did I make a good decision? I've already stayed long enough in the UK. I should have just at least what you're supposed to do now. I'm starting afresh. And I hear a lot of people that moved here as well, especially in the beginning, first 6 months, first 1 year, a lot of people find it so overwhelming. The culture shock is nothing less than, it's next level. And if you've worked in the UK a little bit, even the work culture is different. So definitely it's something that a lot of people worry about. And I feel like it is a challenge, especially if you grew up, you're an adult, you grew up, in another country, and you move to another country, it can be really overwhelming. So I had my challenges, my ups and downs, but if I look back in those 3.5 years, I would say that, I don't even think of regrets at all. Like, I feel really good that I decided to come here and I am here. There are so many challenges, but I feel like it's like a good place for me to see, okay, I have these options and this is what I want to go for. So no regrets, okay? That I feel like really addressing here, that's also almost like about moving to the United States from this time, is from new grads. I've got a lot of new graduate nurses in so many countries asking me about moving to the United States. I remember when I graduated in Nigeria, and I also had this dream, and sometimes finding information can be really daunting, and a lot of countries are also changing their verification process and all of that. So if you're a new grad nurse, you just graduated and you want to practice in the United States someday, I want you to hold on to that dream and keep working on it. What you can do at this time is make sure that you are able to get experience and the knowledge, because they will be really very helpful. So even if you want to further your education, depending on the country where you are, it's because the immigration and getting a job in the United States, they are different, okay? So you may get a job and finish everything, but immigration would delay. So I would say you work hand in hand with your own career in your own country while you wait for the process, okay? In my own case, I always use it as example. While I was back home and waiting for all this process, I did not just wait for traveling abroad. I decided to keep looking for job, get my experience as a nurse, hands-on experience as a nurse. I wanted to study and I went for it. I did not say, I'm not going to study in any of these places, but I went for it as well. So that even if at the end of the day you change your mind, things can happen and you change your mind, you don't want to travel anymore, or it's delaying more than ever, you're still moving forward in your career back home. And then your dream as well, you're moving closer to it, because if you're getting more experience, more knowledge in your field, then you are also going to find it easier when you eventually move to your dream country. So in the case of the United States, I would say make sure you're getting experience, make sure you understand why you're doing certain things as a nurse, make sure that if you are majority of the agencies, or when you want to get a job in the United States, they really want people that have maybe acute care experience. So if your dream is to move to the United States, it should be good if you focus on acute care experience, because they have more opportunities. Midwives and psychiatric nurses, they also move, but I feel like acute care nurses, they have more opportunities to move to the United States, or even any country as well. So just have that in mind. Another thing you can do is that a lot of people feel like this is a big process that they cannot achieve. So if this is something that you want to achieve, if you're a new graduate nurse, my advice for you is that it's very possible. Do not look at something that discourages people from even thinking is like the funds that are involved. I would say in the beginning, if this is the dream you have, really have it in your heart. Surround yourself with people that have the same kind of dream. Even if your colleagues, they are people that do not want to think that way, or they are thinking but they just don't believe that it's something that is possible for them, go on to Facebook, LinkedIn groups, join nursing groups of people that want to move to Canada, of people that want to move to the United States. Just stay there. Even if you're not ready, listen to people that have moved, listen to people that are studying for NCLEX, listen to people, be around people that have the same mindset. In my own time, people that were around me at the time, I have like friends that really wanted to move, but they were not close to me. So people that were close to me thought it's something that is so huge. Why am I even talking about moving to the United States? Like, they are not seeing it as something that is a possibility. So that might be the case that you may be in. Like, you don't even have anybody that is motivating you. So we have online these days. Join groups, be with them, and also focus on your career as well. Do not neglect what is happening around you, that okay, I don't even like practicing here, and then you're not taking things seriously. So as you grow your career back home while you are also pursuing this idea of moving to the United States, what routes are available at this time for internationally trained nurses? So a lot of routes came out in the last few years. So the first one is the permanent residency. That's the one I followed. Like, that's the one that a lot of people know about, the EB3 route. So the one that when you come to the United States, you're already a permanent resident, but a lot of people, as you know, because you have like the retrogression, the immigration changes and everything, this actually takes time for many people in different countries. And other routes that people are taking right now is the study routes as well. Because of the funding, a lot of people find it a little bit challenging, and then some people also worry about what happens when they finish studying. So if this is within what something that you can do, I feel like it's a great process, because some people overthink it and then it's not really what you think. Like it's not, some people find it challenging when they finish studying, right? But some also use that opportunity to now get into the nursing as well, to now, get into the EB3Q while they are in the United States. Another route that a lot of people considered in the past few years is the H1B. That's the work visa. So the H1B route allows you to have just work visa. It's not EB3, it's not permanent residence. So that one expires and you have to renew it. So some people use that when they eventually get to the United States, then they will file for their EB3, and it takes a shorter time as well. But this one also have like a limit on the number of people that they can take on this visa every year or so, and so it's kind of still challenging for people to get into it. In the beginning when they started, a lot of people got into it, but some people were still skeptical, okay, how about if I don't get EB3 and all of that, which those feelings are valid because this is a country that you have never been in. But like looking at everything, I feel like, in my opinion, if you find a route that you are qualified for and you feel is going to work for you and your family, just go for it, because the next step will show up when you eventually make the first step. So if you find a step that you are qualified, if you're already a qualified nurse, have experience, I feel like you have and you are already in the country, you have an edge, kind of. That is my opinion at this time. Remember that I always feel very confident in the route that I have used myself, which is EB3. For all these other ones, I feel like they are experiences of others, and I can only share my opinion based on what I have seen. So the challenges of people, they are not really mine, but if I look at it critically, I feel like they are all worth taking. Okay, those are the routes that I know. So studying H1B, that's the normal work visa, and then the permanent residency route. There are other ways that people might come, like through family, through maybe they get a fellowship or something for their master's degree, and from there they can start working. There are so many other ways. So if America is your dream, you want to work in the United States, keep exploring and you'll find one that really works for you and your family. This is actually one of my favorite questions, and this is, what advice would you give to someone that just arrived in America? I feel like I'll do a dedicated video on this, and I hope I do it, because this has become one of the main thing I will share that really helped me, is to be patient and understand that everything can take a little time. You may feel overwhelmed, the culture shock, like you don't know how. I remember one of the biggest things for me was to see that we have to stand to hand off. I was like, in the UK we used to see it and everybody feel like this one is just like, am I in a security setting or something like that? You have to stand and somebody's addressing us and they've already given you your assignment and everybody's marching to the assignment. It was so overwhelming for me in the beginning that I'll be like, what kind of place is this? They don't even care if you're taking a break or not, like unlike the UK. So my one advice I'll give you is that be patient, trust the process. If this is what you have always wanted, do not let the overwhelm or the shock get to you so much that you will not see the value of what you already have. So be patient, join a community of nurses, and with time. And the good thing about the United States, I feel like people get used to the United States faster, or it was faster for me to get used to the United States than the UK. But I'm different because UK was my first international experience, so this is my second. So maybe for someone that is moving straight from their country to the United States to be different. But even at that, I still met a lot of people like that, and I will still tell them the same thing. Be patient, join a community of nurses online. You may not see them, maybe you're the only black person in your unit, or you're the only international nurse in your unit, and they are seeing you different. They are watching you to prove yourself. Join community of internationally trained nurses. If you don't know any, in fact, just message me on Instagram. I mean, if you are stranded in any way in terms of connecting to other nurses, I think I'll be able to show you where they are gathered, and I feel like it's very helpful. And also be patient. So this is my biggest. I have so many other things that I feel I can share on this, and I would want to say that if there are any other things that you want me to expand on in the comment section, let me know. I have so many other questions, but I think this should be the last one. But I have so many other questions that I feel like I would want to answer in my subsequent videos, like how do you balance family, studying abroad and all that? What was the hardest part about moving and how did you overcome it? What opportunities do you think are available for nurses beyond bedside in the US? If you had to start over, what would you do differently? So guys, I will answer all of these in details in the next video. If there are other ones that you feel like I should expand on or I should talk about, let me know in the comment section. Thank you all for so many of you that kept in touch and shared your journey. I truly appreciate all of that, and I'll see you in the next video.